All right, three, two, one, and we are live. How's it going, everybody? I am Tito Labine, and this is Tito time. I'm looking at myself in the camera, and I'm noticing that I probably should have shaved about looks like 2 months ago. My facial hair is absolutely disgusting and not on point. But you know who is on point is the young man with me, the number 44, the number 93, the number 93, the man, the myth, the guy himself, standing 7 foot 18 inches. We've got Johnny Holtger.
What's going on, buddy?
Dude, what's going on, man? You getting any taller or what?
I don't know. Kind of been toning down the DC, so that might stunt my growth.
You've been toning down the DC. All right, we've got some breaking news here. Johnny Holcher toning down on the Diet Cokes. What's the deal? Is that like a race season got to get into shape kind of thing, or what's the deal here?
No, they race season they start to pick up. That's when the DCs start to go down. That's what brings me up. In the winter time, it's just like winter depression. Like
Yeah.
keep me down to earth. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like that's disappointing. It needs to be the other way around when it comes to race season when you got to be on top of your game. I feel like the DC's got to go up. You know what I mean? You can't be putting them to the side. What's the substitute for the Diet Cokes?
Water, water. I don't know. Some days I just find whatever kind of soda I can drink. I guess I'm just a soda addict. I guess.
So is that, do you have a dietary plan, or do you just try to like consciously be a little bit more aware of what you're putting in your temple, I guess?
I mean, no, I don't know. It's like a couple times I try to like stop, like, all right, cold turkey, no more Diet Coke. And I just get like angry then, I'm angry and mean and like I don't like myself. So I'm back on the Diet Coke grind. So probably like race season, we're about six a day, and probably not race season, we're maybe like three every 2 days. So
Okay, so that's where I can get on board with that. Where I'll have a DC every now and then. As far as the off season goes, I think I had one yesterday with lunch, and then I didn't have one today. Might have one tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But it's here and there. It's hit or miss. But during the race season, there's something about the weekends that Lyle and I think where soda just hits the spot, like on
oh,
race weekends.
for sure. And like race weekends, like before I go out, like if I'm just like sitting there in my thoughts, my dad would be like, "Need a Diet Coke or something? What's your deal? We got to do this." But no, and like the other thing, like lunch Diet Cokes, those don't count. Like you could go to
Wow.
lunch and be like, "Yeah, I had no Diet Cokes today." It's like lunch doesn't count. It's something you have to do, and it's like you need a
Okay.
Diet Coke with your lunch.
Okay. So what about dinner DCs? Are those a thing? Those don't count too, or do those count?
I mean, I think anything with a meal, you know, I think it doesn't count, because it's with a meal. Like casual Diet Cokes, that's where like you got to stop, you know.
Okay. Okay. So if I'm playing Call of Duty and I take a Diet Coke, that's DC. That counts, right?
I mean, no, that's like a casual Diet Coke. That
Gotcha.
that doesn't count. Gaming, you need to be hydrated for.
Gotcha. So if I'm just sitting around watching TV and I drink a Diet Coke, that one counts though, correct?
I mean, yeah, yeah, like playing Call of Duty or like you're working or whatever, and you're like, man, I need a DC. That's when the counter starts.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But
All
like
right. Well,
at the end of the day, Logan's like, "How many Diet Cokes do you have?" I went to McDonald's, went and had lunch. Zero. I didn't have any.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it
Technically zero.
doesn't
No,
count.
I like this. I like this. So, and this is something I'm going to pitch to Jeffrey then. So if I have a beer with lunch or dinner, it doesn't count, correct?
I mean, no, not really. It
Thank you. Okay.
whatever helps you bring down your dinner. You got to enjoy yourself.
Thank you. So that's what I'm going to start to pitch to Jeffrey then is a few, Captain Cokes with dinner. They don't count,
Well,
and
maybe a few count. Maybe like there's got to be like a limit when it starts to count. But
Well,
Yeah.
what's the limit? When does it start counting
I
then?
don't
Is
know.
it
That's
number
just
one? Like,
what I've been doing. I haven't perfected it yet, but that's my thinking on everything. So
gotcha.
I don't know. In the shop, we've been having root beers, so
Uh-oh.
that's why the Diet Coke is kind of out of the picture because that's what's around. That's how I got started on the Diet Coke thing. Because growing up, all we had in the house was Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And now I'm just in love with it.
I can't explain the DC love. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Coke, like, right, it's fine, it tastes good.
Yeah,
But
it's
there's
all
something
right.
about a Diet Coke that's like crisp and like I don't know. I don't know. I'm a big DC guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, if someone's like, "Hey, do you want a Diet Pepsi with your popcorn at the movie theater?" Like, sure. Like it'll
Yeah,
do.
I mean, like, yeah, like it's kind of a sin, but Diet Pepsi is that's pretty banger too. But like Diet Mountain Dew, Diet Dr Pepper, no way, no
Yeah.
way I ever drink that. That's terrible.
What about oh shoot, what was I about to say here? Oh, do you ever smuggle in your own DCs to like movie theaters or anything like that? Do you ever when is it BYODC?
I don't know. Me and Jeffrey might go see the Minecraft movie tonight, so maybe I'll give that a shot.
Because I know you're a big warm DC guy. I mean, you're a little on that Dahmer level as far as like unhinged unhinged behavior. So
Well, I
uh
don't like cold anything. Like I like warm soda doesn't bother me. Warm water, it doesn't doesn't bother me. I don't really like when you drink something cold. It's like hits you, and I don't really not a fan of that.
okay, well, what about then? Is it like cold anything? So are you just like man like warm? So warm root beer even?
I mean, like room, like not like warm, like let it sit on the dash of your car and like bake in the sun, but
Yeah,
like don't throw it in the fridge.
yeah.
Like like perfect, you know.
Man, that's a tough sell. I think room temperature anything is a tough sell as far as that goes. I mean, what about like sushi, like cold sushi, warm sushi, room temperature
Oh, dude,
sushi?
that's got to be warm. I
Oh,
Like
okay,
you get
okay.
sushi, you leave it in the fridge, you got to warm it up. I'm not eating that cold.
Really? So you would
Yes,
rather like microwave sushi
yes,
than
that's what I
just
do.
cold? You're out of your mind, Jeff. Johnny.
I don't know. That's just what I do. I don't know. Like when I'm like throwing it on the plate to warm it up, I'll grab one, but it's just like that'd be better warm.
Yeah, no, no. I, I I don't know, man. I mean, I know we talk about it. We're gonna have to make it happen one of these times as far as sushi goes because we cannot seem to agree on where we can get reasonable sushi because I'm a sushi lovers guy. You know what I mean? I don't mind it here in Green Bay, but you're saying like, "Hey man, that I'm eating dog food essentially." Where can we meet? Is like Coco's like the is that like the middle ground?
I I mean, me and Logan have been on a Coco's kick. I it's starting to come around on me. Like when they moved locations, that's where they lost me. Like because I
Okay.
feel like it wasn't as good, but I think it's coming back, and like it's kind of a horse apiece between Coco's and Umi. So,
Yeah.
but otherwise, like when I'm just like I want some, I just go to Festival. Sometimes they got some pretty banging stuff there, so I
See,
rock with that every now and again.
this is where I try to get into the mind of Johnny Holtger is that you're a big Umi guy. Umi's good sushi.
For sure, dude, the
And
best.
and you're gonna go to festival foods where Aunt Diane makes it by hand in the back, and you're okay with that, but you won't eat sushi lovers?
I I went there a couple times, just like wasn't didn't really get me going. I
Ugh.
I don't know. I mean, be willing to give it a shot again, but
I
not
feel
really
like
my thing.
if we're gonna have this sushi eating competition, I feel like sushi lovers is kind of like the the answer here because then you just pay your what $35 and
Yeah.
then it's dude bring me the rolls you
Well,
know
and
it,
I agree with you there because like you order and then you wait. You know, where like those other places you order and then you get the big lump sum and you eat, you know.
Yeah.
Where like it gives it time to digest and make room. So I agree with you there, Tito. I think I'd show you what's up at Sushi Lover.
All right. Well, hey, if we're gonna do this, then I mean we got to bring him into it, right? We got to bring in Jeffrey. We got to bring in Logan. Are we gonna do teams? Is it just a 1v1 kind of deal? I guess. Like, what do you think? Is it a 1v1v1v1? I mean, what
I
do you
mean,
what do you
I
think?
I don't know there, man. We could do that. We could do like, hey, three on each side, and then you're a team, right? So
Yeah.
whoever you're sitting across of is who you're going up against.
Ooh. Okay. So
But
here's
then
the thing, though.
the loser has to pay the other like has to pay the winners $30.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So here's
That's
the
good.
tough thing about Jeffrey is that he's allergic to fish. So we'd have to try to compromise because he'll eat like the veggie roll or like the avocado roll, and he'll do like the teriyaki chicken, the gyoza and whatnot, the chicken fried rice. He'll do all that. But when it comes to like actual sushi, I think that's where it's going to be tough. So we'd
I
almost
think
have
he's
to.
just the judge.
I like.
Yeah,
I think he would like that. I think he would like just judging and eating essentially as part of like his job.
yeah. I think he sits there with a piece of paper, and every time you take a bite, one for you, one for me. He's a scorekeeper.
And I think maybe what we got to do is figure out what sushi rolls that we get that we can vibe on and we can just smash. Because if you're out here getting, like raw eel, I mean, it'd be cool if you didn't. I maybe maybe some shrimp tempura or crab leg or something along those lines. But if you're getting dolphin tongue, I mean, I'm you might have to just be you on that.
Yeah, no, I mean that, and that's the thing. Like, you gotta like go somewhere that you know you're gonna enjoy it, right? Like, you're not gonna
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, let's try this, and it's terrible, and it's like, now you're wasting it, you know?
And I can't believe how much you're into sushi for as young as you are. I really didn't get into sushi until I don't know, I was 27
Hmm.
ish. Would kind of be when I kind of even really I think had sushi for the first time was about 27. And after that though, then you kind of find out what you like. But dude, you wouldn't catch me eating sushi at 20 years old, bro.
Yeah, no, my mom said I was using chopsticks at 3. Like, that was like she would like sometimes at dinner she'd make me use them like instead of a fork, and just like I'd just sit there and like rage quit and just like I figure it out, you know. But
That's
I'm
all.
I'm pretty fluent with them, so
So you're proficient with the chopsticks.
yeah. Like most kids, they ride like dirt bikes at 3. I had to sit at a counter and eat with chopsticks.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Does anybody ever think that you're older or younger than you actually are? Because I think when I met you, I didn't really meet you, but I knew when you raced KGB. Like we've been over this during
Yeah,
2020
when
during the first year.
when you hated me.
When I hated you, um,
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that you were what 16 and around that time.
Yeah, I just think it's the height, you know. I mean, I
Maybe.
don't think I look old. I or like facial wise, I don't think I look old. You know, I can't even grow a beard, but I
Same.
just think the height throws everyone off, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, again, like during that year when I saw you, like I knew you're tall, but I thought you were like 17, 18 ish, and then once I kind of was around a little bit longer and found out, I'm like, man, you're only. I think last year we like put you on the podcast, like oh, I'm only 19. I was like, that's crazy. Like I've seen you for years, bud.
Yeah.
Like you've been
No,
around, man. You ain't even in your 20s yet.
yeah, 2020 or yeah, 2020 I was that the race season I was 15, and then the last race I was 16. So
Okay.
I remember that year. It was like in pro stock, a couple people weren't very happy with me and Owen being below the age limit, and spanking them every weekend, So, but it, I don't know, like I think that's like I honestly think that's okay. Like I think like it's good to have an age limit on stuff, but like Wyatt Miller, like what he's 13, but
Yeah.
he has experience, he knows what he's doing. I think that that's fine. Like
Yeah.
anybody that buys a race truck and throws their 13-year-old in it that's never been in anything, that's different. But I
Yeah.
just I think there should be some leeway there, and I think Champ does a good job of giving that out.
Yeah. No, and I agree is when it comes to like a situation like a Wyatt Miller, we can all agree like he's had, his experiences and his time behind the wheel where he can get around just as well as some of those other guys. Now, if it's obviously a 13-year-old that's never raced before or like, raced go-karts at Wisconsin Dells a few times, I mean, that's
Yeah,
it's not really the jam, but no, I mean, for me it just, I don't know, it feels like you've been around a lot longer than what your age says, and you hope to have you around, for a long time to arrive because you are a young guy. You are essentially the up and coming generation as far as racers go. And obviously Tito time we've sat around and we've talked about, a lot of the discussions as far as champ off road goes, the series, the season, the decisions, as far as Wheatland goes, Glenn Helen, kind of how everybody feels on it. So, I'd love to get your opinion on it as well, especially with you, being kind of in that batch of younger drivers that is, up and coming. I mean, there's some guys aren't necessarily in the same class as you, but are showcased as young drivers. There's Owen Van Emperen, we mentioned him earlier today, Riker Remington. I mean, Ben Heiding is some of these guys that are in that range of your peers do have skill and talent as far as a new generation goes. And I would love to get your guys' opinions on things that are happening because easily within 5 years, 10 years, you guys are going to be, the leaders in the sport. I mean, Keegan and CJ were in your guys' shoes at one point, being 20 years old, 21 and racing and, maybe not feeling like, hey, I don't have a say in it, but when you're essentially the future, there's a lot that you have to say that does contribute to, the series and the sport.
yeah,
So
no, for sure. In that with any form of racing, that you're gonna like Cars 3, like that's like the best movie that does it, where Lightning McQueen's at his peak and he gets old and downhill. But like that's kind of been the thing, being the young rising talent. There's always eyes on you, and you're gonna have mistakes and stuff like that. But like as I like been in pro light for so long, there's guys coming now that are fast. Like Michael Funk this past year, he had a bunch of times where like showing signs of greatness, and like it was hard for me to catch him. So I'm excited for some of these drivers to get in trucks and just start plowing their way through. And I mean, at the end of the day, I know that at some point I'm going to be old and washed up, and there's going to be some new kid and come in and steal my thunder. But I don't know. I think I'm still young and I'm still learning, and I think there's still more to come. I don't think I've even tapped into my full potential yet, and just trying to get there. But there's there's some there's some great talent out there, and I just hope they all get the opportunities to chase their dreams and race a truck and show their worth.
yeah, no, and I agree, Johnny, and not to just obviously blow smoke up your ass because you're in front of me, but no, I do give you a lot of credit. I do feel the same way with you as far as like your talent or your potential has not been reached yet. Obviously, you're 20 years old. I mean, you're still developing. There's still plenty of time, plenty of seat times laps that you can run where you can build on that experience as far as yourself goes. It's there. You started early. You have showcased your talents. I mean, you're a Pro 2 winner. You're a Pro Light champion. There's plenty of things that you still can do it, and you're still very young. So I don't know when that first Pro 4 race win will happen. You've gotten close a few times
Yeah.
where you scared us out last year as far
Yeah.
as as far as our bet goes, but no, it's cool to see though. Like it really is. Do you remember our bet for Supercross?
Yeah, you guys are gonna be getting perms. That's what the bet is.
So I need to chill out.
I'm leading.
Yeah, I know. I think Lyle brought it up the other day as far as our bet goes. So Jeffrey's gonna have to start growing out his hair again,
Yeah.
and Lyle's gonna
What
have to
is
grow
it?
out his.
If one of you guys win, then I have to get like fuzzy, like shave the sides, and it's like a fuzzy mohawk down the center.
Yeah, it's got to be blonde.
Yeah. So like it's kind of poofed up, but like this gets shaved and then bleach this.
Yeah, like a blonde Mr. T.
Yes. Yeah, something like that. So I've
Yeah,
been, dude. You guys put the fear of God in me every Saturday. I just spend the day and watch qualifying and like I'm serious. And my picks have been pretty good, but this past weekend I didn't have a good weekend, and Lyle had a really good weekend. So I got a little buffer room, but I got to start picking it up.
yeah. I let me see what the what the scores look like as far as fantasy goes. So because this is something that again like we do and we forget to like even tell anybody as far as like the wild stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, because who knows? I know my parents would be pissed me rolling up with permed up hair. Golly, man, you got 512.
Yep.
Lyle has 440.
Mm-hmm.
I have 437, and Jeffrey has 405.
Yep.
Damn, Logan's at 403.
Yeah, dude, she has some good picks. Every now and again, she has a good night.
So, yeah, you got 25 points the last round,
Bad
and
night.
Lyle got 40.
Yeah, bad night.
So it. We'll see. We'll see. When? How many races are left?
I think like five, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think like 4 or 5. It's kind of getting down to it. So I was
Yeah,
gonna give myself a haircut, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get it trimmed a little bit lower and get like it has to be short anyway, right? Because otherwise, it's just gonna look like a bunch of Jerry curls.
yeah, for sure. But no, I remember when we started it. Me, you, and Jeffrey went to lunch, and Jeffrey's, we're gonna put money on this, and I was like, no, dude, you're leading. I'm not gonna give you money to win.
Yeah,
Like at the
yeah,
start, I would have, but now I wish I would have told him, yeah, because I swooped it from underneath him.
yeah. You had a nice little arrive back as far as our group goes, because I know it was just us three up there at the top, and then you slowly chipped away, and now you've pulled away as far as those points go. So it's devastating. I don't want it to happen, but I might be showing up to Andigo with some permed out hair. I might have to do the broccoli look that you young guns are all rocking.
Well, I don't do it by choice. This is genetics.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know how I got hooked in with it. Like growing up, my hair was always straight, and then I don't know, like 12 or 13, and woke up one day and it was curly. So, but my nephew just got a perm, so I'm waiting to see him so I can bully him a little bit about it. I don't understand the aspect of that, but it's gonna be a funny joke when you guys have one.
it's gonna be absolutely horrendous if we show up. If we show up with permed hair, man. When we went blonde, man, that was funny too. But yeah, I feel like perming it is gonna be, and I want it to be curly too. Like I want it to look like your hair.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know how I got stuck with it, but I'm stuck with it. So
But no, as I mentioned, we would probably be rolling into Andigo with some permed hair, which means I think Wheatland is one of there'll be Supercross going on during Wheatland. So when they announced Wheatland, What were your feelings on that, man? Were you excited? Were you just kind of over the moon on it, or kind of what was your feelings when they first introduced Wheatland into the schedule?
Dude, I was pumped. I was stoked about it. That's such an awesome facility just sitting there. And it's like I got to race there in a mod cart, and like in the height of short course out west, I was there and seeing all the cool races and stuff that happened there and everything, and getting to do the Mid America race there. That was a lot of fun. That track is, if they can keep some moisture in it and some grip in it, that track is super racy. And I was stoked, and I'm stoked for all these guys to come there and do it. And it's just it's kind of like I wouldn't say like a Crandon, but like it's definitely its own thing. It's
Yeah.
so unique. Big jumps, over unders, and it gets super, like, really super tight and technical and pretty wide open in some spots. And yeah, that big jump is something else. Everyone going there, you better pony up, because like once you hit it like two times, it's not bad. But like you go on the track walk and you're like at the bottom of the valley, you just look up and it's like as tall as a warehouse or something. It's huge, and you're hitting that thing just about tapped,
Yeah.
but it's super cool. And I'm happy we're getting to travel a little bit, go to some different places, market ourselves. And I'm just pumped for that as well.
Yeah. No, and dude, like I said, I'm stoked for Wheatland ever since they first introduced it and showed it. I mean, it's a cool essentially over under track. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something I always used to create whenever I'd play with like my little toys in the dirt. I had
Yeah.
like these wooden blocks and I'd have them jump over and then it would be an immediate turn underneath. And it was so cool. I'm like, man, this will never happen. Like there's just too much that can go wrong with it. But they've made it happen and it's cool. And I felt like Wheatland was kind of one of the first tracks to do that. So I'm stoked to go see it. And it's cool that you've done it. Do you feel that you have any advantage for Wheatland? I know it was just mod carts or you raced at MAO. Do you feel that you've got at least a little bit of an advantage when it comes to Wheatland as far as your Pro Lite, Pro 2, Pro 4 go?
um no, not really, because all these top guys, they're going to go there, they're going to test, and they got good people. And they're going to figure it out quick. I think, yeah, yeah, I bet there. Yeah, I'm gonna go test too, but I think we're really all starting off the same. I don't. It definitely like helps. That to get to the test and like kind of being able to fire off and get to work quicker. But I don't really think it's it's gonna be too much. I think everybody's very very driven to win, and the testing and everything. They're not going there to play around and head out to the fishing ponds and play. They're there to work and you know, get the best truck they can to show up with. So I think it's going to be like any other race weekend, really.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I am beyond excited to go. I mean, we're less than a month away. I think we counted it was 24 days. Essentially, going to be 3 weeks here on Saturday. We're heading out on Thursday, so I mean, for us, it's I mean, 20 essentially 23 days until we start heading down there sooner for you guys. With race season so close, I mean, how are things going in the shop? How's the start of the season? Did it creep up on you guys like it crept on us?
Um, no, not really. It definitely, like, getting ready for the mint, like, because that was our goal. We were going to go to the mint, so it was starting to turn into a mad dash for that. But that kind of pushed us, after the mint, we were basically ready. So it's just kind of little tinker things and spend some time on the dyno. But yeah, everything's together. We loaded up the Pro Lite this afternoon. We're heading down to Wheatland on Thursday. So we're gonna load the Pro 2 in the morning and go through the shop and make sure we have everything. Check over the semi and all the rigs and head out. But definitely, like, there's a video of CJ on YouTube, and it's like when you win the last race of the championship or whatever, you're the champion for that day. Next day, you got to wake up and be better. And it winter the off season isn't, time to mess around and play around. You got to work just as hard as you do in the summer. And making things better. There's always something that can be better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, and that's great as far as that mentality goes with you looking to the next season. I mean, it's not that you have to burn yourself out right after the season, but at least having it at the forefront of your mind, being like, okay, hey, the season's done. What can we start planning towards for next season? Like you said,
yeah,
is there's that old adage, right? Is that champions are made in the off season. So kind of some of the choices that you make or things that you adjust or do in the off season contribute towards your season. So um, obviously, like you said, we're traveling. Topic that's been brought up, that we like to talk about. I mean, I'd love to get your perspective on it as far as being, a young gun. Us going to Glen Helen. Now, you were willing to go to the Mint 400. Glen Helen, end of the year. What were your thoughts on it? On I guess when it was announced. Was this something for you that was just automatic anyway? Something that you wanted to do? Your family, your race team made a choice to do, I guess. Like what kind of went through your head once you heard Glen Helen was on the schedule?
when I heard it came up, it's kind of like, like whatever, like when gas was around, we went out and raced gas at Glen Helen all the time and traveled. And it's just like when it's snowy and crappy out here, go out and drive, get some time on the trucks, learn some stuff, time behind the wheel, So, and racing mod carts, I was in California just about every other weekend, California, Arizona, or Utah, or whatever, doing the nationals and the regionals and everything like that. So, it's nothing new to me, to figure out how to get out there and whatever. Um, but I definitely think that it should have been the first race. That
Yeah,
that is my opinion, because start of the year, everybody's anxious. Everyone has these trucks done sitting in their shop, taking up room, and they don't get to play around with them, and sponsors, you get your sponsorship money and your budgets are built and you have no points. So everybody's amped up to race, and they would go out there, where you make it the end of the season. And I can see the aspects of some guys going, I'm not in the points. What does it matter? But
yeah,
I think like every driver as a whole, like you kind of got to brush off that attitude and just like, we got to put on a show out here. Like Lucas, short course was so big, and like Glen Helen is kind of like, I wouldn't say in the middle of nowhere, but it's out there. I mean, you're right next to a jail and a police training course, and that's really it, But
yeah,
it, dude, you couldn't even walk there. You couldn't find a spot on the bleachers. There were so many people, and like under the lights, like the sparks coming off the brake discs and the flames coming out of the exhaust. It just like brought such a different environment to it.
yeah,
And it's like, and it was awesome, you know. And I think that's something we just like us as a whole. We got to try to rebuild. And I I don't know if RJ said it or Ryan said it, but it doesn't need to happen every year, Like we don't need to go to Glen Helen every year, but it would have been cool if we would start 2 weeks before the mint or after the mint if the mint happened, because I
yeah,
think like you're already making a trip and the trip's expensive, don't get me wrong, but you only got to make one, and there's
yeah,
plenty of people, like Namer, I bet he has room. I bet Ricky G has room. I bet Gibbs maybe has some room out there. And all the other companies that we get our parts from, I bet they have room. There's definitely places you can reach out and ask and say, hey, can I leave this year?
yeah,
So, but no, I'm excited. I'm gonna go. Talking with Yokohama, they want me to go, so they're really excited about it because it's what, maybe 45 minutes from their place there. I don't know if it's a
yeah,
warehouse or a plant, but I mean, it's just a good opportunity for Yokohama or any other company out there to take their people that work in their facilities and bring them there and show them there on what the products they're putting together and moving around actually do in action. So I think it's a good move, and I think like all the drivers, we got to team up and figure out a way to get us all out there. It doesn't matter if you're in the points or not. We need to put on a show, because that's where the money's at on the West Coast. That's where all those big companies are. So we all gotta come together to make it something great.
Yeah, yeah, and again, something I'm sure you've heard or I've stated is like again, we have no skin in the game. You drivers are, are the show, are the entertainment, and for guys like us media guys, we want you there. We want to be able to cover you guys. We want to be able to make it happen, and we understand that in this in this sport and in this industry, funds aren't they don't just grow on trees.
Yeah.
But I do agree to an extent that for sure I think you need to try to find a way out there. And again, I don't have any stake in the game, right? I'm not the one spending thousands and thousands of dollars and hundreds and thousands of dollars on a vehicle. So it's easy for me to say that.
Yeah.
But what I can say is like me as a fan, I would love to see as many people out there to showcase this series and this sport, to showcase like what we've got. And that's me being 100% selfish, is that of course like me as a fan, I want to see it, right? We all want to see it grow and be as great as it can, and if you can showcase out in the West, like there's just some form of, I don't want to say hope, but there's some form of what if, as far as showcasing the series out there. And I don't know if you heard me joke around about like marketing out there and trying to um, make Glen Helen a must see weekend. I said we should get somebody with a clean record and put him in a pro light and let him go rip around like downtown LA. And
Yeah. No, I heard that.
yeah,
You know,
so I
I
mean,
I'm not gonna do it, but I have a pro light that if you can cram yourself in there, I'll let you do it. I don't care. So I think you could. I'll help you bring that dream to life.
so well, not me, man. I mean, I'd love to
Why
watch
not?
the
What
weekend.
do you have to lose?
This is a fair, you know what? This is a fair point. I wonder what do you think the charge would be if you got in a pro light, you just kind of ripped around downtown. Obviously, it's reckless driving, right?
Yeah.
Would be one. The real question is, would there be any felonies in there, or is this all just like misdemeanor stuff? I think as long as I don't hit a car, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, like, are you just like out on a Sunday cruise, or are you like pitching it in and doing burnouts and
oh yeah, burnouts, dude. Donuts. I mean, you try to find like a nice little intersection. You just like, oh, I'm just gonna creep through this red light here, and then wah 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 wah, and then like take off, and then you're gonna be pulled over in uh,
0.20 seconds?
yeah, yeah. So it's like it's not like you can really run from the cops, but it would make for a heck of a thing. Or then they're like, sir, do you know I pulled you over? And I'm like,
No,
yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, September 24th, 25th, 26th, Glen Helen. That's what you pulled me over for. Hey, is your body cam on, sir?
yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not really a lawyer. I don't really know what you'd get charged for, but I definitely think reckless driving would be one. But I don't know, the way I look at it. There's plenty of goofballs out there that do that with their streetcar. So I maybe you might get booked in, and we'll have to pay the fine to get the truck out of what's it called when they tow your car
Out of impound?
out of impound, and then we'll be all good. You just have a little smack on the wrist, and you'll be good.
Yeah, then you just wouldn't be allowed to drive again in California. So who if you had to pick someone, to rip around in your pro light downtown, like, and you're willing to like bail them out, get your pro light out of impound, is there a list of people you think you would trust, or like is who would you pick? I guess like is like naming them off that you wouldn't think anything less. So like let's say Logan, let's say your girlfriend's like, hey, like I'll do it. Would you allow her to do it?
She wanted to. No, I don't think I'd let her do that. But I think my media guy Visser. Oh, dude,
Okay.
he would put on such a show. That
Oh,
that would be your
oh,
guy
he
right
would.
there.
He would.
For sure, dude. He would. Yeah, dude. Whatever
Yeah.
the dates are, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Handcuffed his hair, you know.
Yeah. 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 Hey, Glenn Helen, September 22nd, 23rd, 24th, man. See you there.
Yeah, dude. He would eat that up. That's my number one draft pick. Um,
That's a good pick. When I see
Jacob
Vis,
Rosales. Jacob Rosales is number
oh,
two. That would be awesome.
dude,
You know, and
that
he
would
would
be.
sit there after the dates. He'd sit there and argue with him, and it that would be like the best body cam footage ever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hearing him go back, whoa, I thought this was America, man. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what you need to do? You need to put like some like makeshift blinkers on it, like as if
Yes.
it's like street legal, because you're on
Yeah.
DOT tires.
Yeah. I register it as a ranger or something and go from there. My first pro light had a VIN number on it because that's like
Really?
the only. Someone will tell me I'm wrong, but I think that's how you got the trucks to Mexico when short course used to race at
Oh,
Estero
okay.
Beach. Like to get it across the border, it had to have a VIN number on it. So I mean, there's your VIN number. Call it a Ford Ranger and throw some blinkers on it and
And
send
you
her
just
out.
yeah, and you just get a slight little speeding ticket,
Yeah, a little reckless driving, and you'd be good.
maybe a little display of power, no big deal.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that'd be awesome. I'm
Who?
willing to help it out, but
What about like Mason?
like Mason that used to help me.
How about like Mason Prater and
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he just doesn't have that excitement. Like he's a funny little kid, but like he's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
so monotone. Like what? You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
What?
Yeah,
You watch racing?
yeah, it'd be something like that. But no, my number one and number two are Visser and Jacob Rosales.
What about Dalton?
Dude, I want to let that guy ride my pedal bike. No, he drove the Pro Light in the trailer today, but see, he's not exciting. Like
Dalton is totally exciting.
no, he's not.
I bet if you told him that when you get arrested, shout the dates, he would shout the dates.
Oh, he would do it. He would do it for sure. Like this year at Crandon, like we had like one of the Motec things go down and like the truck wouldn't start. So I was like, all right, boys, who doesn't care about their driving record? Because we had the other truck at home and Dalton, me, I don't care. So he ripped from Crandon, probably going 100. I don't even want to know how fast he was going, but got there, got the computer out, drove back, threw it in the truck, and we raced. But
Yeah.
he would do it. He don't care.
How about this, real quick, since we're talking about Glenn Helen and who would rip a pro light downtown? Let's who in who in Pro 4 you think would do it? I got one name on my mind.
Adrian Cheney,
That's who I thought too.
dude, that guy is an animal. He would do
You
it.
you think we could reach out and convince him to like do something like that?
I mean, we can try. He'd probably say, "I'm not driving a Pro Light," but
Yeah. Yeah. He'd be like, I tell you what, Johnny, I'll go out and I'll do it in my own Pro 4 and it'll look good.
yeah, no, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
I tested with him a couple times, and he's a really cool dude. Like we pulled up to the track, and he was there, and I went over and said hi to him, and I was like, "What's up, Adrian? Oh, how's it going? You want to jump in my truck and do a couple laps?" I said, "No, no, I don't, but that's nice of you."
Yeah, dude, we're gonna have to get him on the show. I'm sure he's got plenty of stories. The only time we really talked to him was when we gave him the Gladiator Award, and
Yeah,
that's when he convinced Lyle and I to roll up in his trailer. Like when we just walked in, no questions asked. I mean, we probably should have like said something, but we just were like, hey man, yeah, we're in your trailer now.
yeah.
Who
No,
who in Pro 2 you think would do it?
Besides Jacob Rosales.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Besides Jacob Rosales,
I don't know. I think the Pro 2 fields, like pretty clean cut. Like I don't know.
I can
I don't-
maybe think of one.
all right, let's hear yours because I can't think of anybody.
Maybe Ricky G.
See, I see. I think Ricky G would. Yeah, I'd do it, but I think like coming to it, I don't think he would.
I think he would wuss out. Ricky G's a big old
Yes.
wuss, right, Jeffrey? Yep, dude. See, Jeffrey Keeble, Tito Labine, Ricky G's a wuss. That's I think he would wuss out.
I mean, I think he'd be like, yeah, that's sick, but not me.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I think he'd be, oh, dude, that's so sick, man. Would you do it? Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That is exactly how Ricky G would answer that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think anyone in the Pro 2 field is that crazy.
Yeah, everyone's pretty lame in that Pro 2 class. They're a little too goody two shoes. I don't see anybody that's just as crazy or wild. Like I said, like you said, Jacob Rosales, maybe Ricky G. Dude, what do you think? Maybe Trey Gibbs, or do you think he's too lame now?
I don't think Trey would do it.
I mean,
I
he's
think
got
he
an attempted murder on his books. So I
what?
don't know why he wouldn't. Yeah, remember when he almost killed Matt Brister in
Oh,
that
dude,
pro life?
that's on a racetrack. Anything can happen on a racetrack,
That's attempted murder, Johnny.
dude. That wasn't that. Yeah, that was kind of a bad deal, but it like that wasn't intentional. That was just kind of a severe racing deal.
If that's what you want to believe, man. I mean, I saw him turn. You look at the replay. He turned his wheels into Brister.
I don't
Attempted
know.
murder, son.
I don't know, man. I think I think that was a little. I think the water truck guy got excited right there and made her a little too moist, and
yeah. It stalled out just a little bit there.
yeah.
What about Pro Light then? When Pro Light would rip around downtown.
I don't really know anybody in Pro Light.
I guess I don't know if they're that wild.
I mean, who's in Pro Light? Matt Wood.
Yeah,
He
yeah. I
won't do
mean,
it.
Matt Wood, Trey, you. I mean, I guess what pros maybe no, I would say Nick Visser, but I don't think he would do it.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite as wild as Zach. But yeah, I think it's Adrian Cheney, Jacob Rosales, or Zach. So
Jeffrey, who do you think would rip around downtown LA in a pro light? Johnny says Jacob Rosales, Adrian Cheney, and Zach Visser would do it. Do you have any additions? Because we were talking about Pro 2 drivers. We think they're too clean cut. Ricky G's a wuss. No one in Pro 4 other than Adrian Cheney, and no one really in Pro Light that we can think of. Huh? You think he would?
he don't count. He don't race.
Yeah, he said if he was around.
I don't think he's got kids, dude. He's not going to jail.
That's what we said too, but he doesn't think he'd do it. No. Yeah, Jeffrey thinks Trey Gibbs would. Davey
Almost.
Mason Jr. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Dave.
Yeah, Jeffrey goes. He's a white collared guy. He'd get rid of, or he'd get away with it.
Yeah. No, I think we got our draft picks. So
Hey,
go down the list.
I think this is it's a good suggestion, good topic for marketing.
Yeah.
For Champ at Glen Helen. I mean, what are some other marketing strategies you think would work as far as like that stuff goes? I mean, you're a young gun, you're a young guy. I mean, do they start printing off Champ going to Glen Helen on like sushi packets, or they start handing them out like door by door, like you know what I mean? What do you think would be a nice, cool young guy marketing strategy that you would think of that would get you to go to a race there?
I mean, like, what's that show that's happening like a week before Glen Helen?
Sand show, right? Or
Yeah,
something?
I mean, they got to have some kind of a burnout pit or something there that, I mean, I I have no problem packing up early and sending my stuff out there. I just got to stay and do some school, but I'd fly out late, and if they have a burnout pit or something, go there and put on a little bit of a show there and build some awareness. But I mean, road signs, just kind of advertisement, and all
Yeah.
of us need to be excited about it. That's like one of the things that really like brought me down when they announced it is there's like so much negativity, and it's
Yeah.
like this is awesome. Like the last couple of weeks, like me and my buddies, we'd sit on Discord and we'd watch like old core races, like all over the country, and the stands are just packed. There's
Yeah.
10, 12 Pro Fours that can win at any time, and like that. I wish I was around for that because that looked like the time to live. Like it was awesome. But like even Ryan's thing, bringing going to a Chevy dealership, like that's just little things like that that build awareness that like, hey, this is happening. Come see it. Just
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to go rip around LA, but like it doesn't need to be full X Games mode. You just like simple stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that just simple, easy. Get a billboard, do the sand show. Maybe a couple more of us reach out to different dealerships, and just sit there and hang out and let kids sit in the truck and just build awareness. Really.
Yeah, and that's where I think I agree as far as catering to, I hate to say it, but I mean catering towards the younger generation, the young kids. I mean, whether you not like it or not, man, boys love big trucks. They love dirt. They love trucks. I mean, I used to play with cars. I mean, I honestly, I think up until I was like 11 or 12, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
wow,
Me
I
too.
was just in the dirt in the front by our porch. I'd always build out a track, dude, and I would sit out there for hours, dude,
Yeah.
making up different racetracks, different race winners. Like I remember I made my own like series one time. Like I totally rigged like all of it, right? Like you got your favorite white truck that was down by 49 points and he wins by 1 point in glorious fashion. Like kids love it, man. And it's in, like you said, you park the truck, you get the kids in it, and they're like, hey, even if you go like a week before, like you said, I didn't know about the sand show. I
Yeah.
didn't know about it. So it was cool that RJ had said it. And where you go out and like you said, you park the truck there, pander to the kids, have the kids do it, or even the people that are there, like, hey, take this 10% off next weekend for like all tickets.
Yeah.
Like
And that,
something like that. Or hey, take this. This is a one kid gets in free kind of deal. Like something that
yeah.
you get those people to go by rewarding them for happenstance, or chance or sand show that's like, hey, dude, come next week, 10% off or whatever it may be, or here's one free wristband. I don't know.
Yeah. No, for sure. Something like that, given, and even if, you know, not saying me or anybody, go to the sand show and see if Champ will give you a couple tickets, or just, get a couple. Like
Yeah.
that little investment to get people there, it is worth it. And just like, hey, here you go. Here's for your kids. Bring them out. That it's just little stuff like that, and like I don't know. Like I think Monster Jam does it really good. Like everyone says Supercross and whatever. I went to a Monster Jam the other week. That was so much fun, and because like there's so much involvement with the fans, and like I think we kind of have like their pit party thing that they do where the fans it's open, like the fans can go to any tent and hang out, but like the show is like something else, the lights off and you know fan interaction and like a bunch of cool stuff that happens, that kind of drive people to go and come back, and
Yeah.
like even Supercross, you go across the finish line and there's flames, like how much is it logistically to really do that, and like
I don't know. I mean, Supercross does, or Snowcross does flames every now and then.
yeah, I mean like how hard is it? But like even like I don't know, like this off season show this year that I was on, I said I believe in my mind, every single race needs to be a night race, except for Crandon, or maybe Bark River too, because they're such big tracks. How are you going to light that up? But
Yeah.
um, like it, how do you get people to go there and spend their entire day inside entire weekend there? Like Friday, and I think Friday, Saturday too. Like they need to all be Friday, Saturdays except for Crandon.
Yeah.
So like you get done with work and you want to go see some racing or something, and have a good time and like get a cool local band there after to keep people around and selling drinks and in the pits and selling t-shirts to get some money in the driver's pockets and stuff, and like racing at night is just like awesome,
Yeah.
you know and it's like the first time I ever drove like a Pro 2 Pro Lite at night was at King of the Hammers, and I went on the track and I hit the brakes and I seen sparks and I'm like, what is going on? And I hit the gas and the flame, like the first two laps I was having a panic attack of what's going on. But like watching it as a kid, like that stuff's awesome. It's so cool. And like parents want to go because they don't have to spend their whole day there.
Yeah.
You just make it like what Monster Jam was 2 hours, right? Make it a 3-4 hour show and make it at night, and it's awesome. But like, yeah, like CJ's argument is, well, my guys aren't going to stay up till 4 in the morning putting the truck back together. Well, not really the case, but at the end of the day, it's your job, right? And the what 16 nights out of the year where you got to stay up a little late, whatever, and sleep in a little bit the next morning and finish it up. If the races don't start till 6 or 7, do the little stuff after the race, scrape the mud off, clean it up, and do the big stuff in the morning.
So and that's where I can and that's where I have some agreement for sure
Yeah,
is for Fall Crandon we were doing edits. I what was it, Saturday night, I didn't, I was still editing and it was like 2 a.m.
yeah,
and I'm so tired, dude. Like I'm falling asleep with my finger still on the command button, and I'm falling asleep like mid edit, and I'm like, I have one more left to do. Like I just have to suck it up, finish this, because I thought about going to bed and doing it in the morning, and Jeffrey has taught me to never do that. Like get your shit done right now because you're not gonna do it in the morning.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is so fucking miserable. Like I have to be up at 7 a.m. and I have to be at the track. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get. Oh no, I had to be up at 6, and I'm like, I'm never gonna get this done. And I just sucked it up, finished it, and then got whatever sleep I could because I thought the same thing that you had is, dude, this is the very last time this season that I'm gonna be up this late doing any of that
yeah,
because tomorrow is Sunday, and once it's done, man, like it's done, we'll do the edits on Monday and Tuesday and send them out. But this is the
yep,
last time that I'll be up this late. I can get 4 hours of sleep, and then you know tomorrow's gonna be enough to keep me awake until 1 a.m. when I am done partying.
yeah. No, it's your job, at the end of the day, that's what it is, and
Yeah.
like to put on a good show or get good sleep. I would rather put on a good show and try to grow the thing as much as I could, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you know, do the little stuff. I get it if something catastrophic happens, but how is that any different if something catastrophic happens at 5 or 5 p.m.? You're still going to be working until 3 in the morning, right?
Yeah. 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 I
So
mean,
I mean,
I
just sleep in.
yeah. And I agree. Right? Is like you said, it's one of
Yeah,
those, you know what you signed up for, and I know that you've
for
got,
sure.
I know that you have routines or ideas of how you want to conduct your day, and again, it doesn't always go the way you want. And again, I have no problem admitting selfishly, that as a fan, I would love to see it. I would love any way for the sport to get bigger. If it means doing what Supercross does, is like if you do a Pro Light, Pro 2, Pro 4, he first heats and then second heats, and then that's like how you do it, and that's just your day on Saturday, then so be it. Like if that means that's how it'll be successful, then great.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll deal with it. But
I think that's all good if it was like a 1 day event. You know,
Yeah,
like
or if it's just all pros.
yeah, for sure. And I think like I think we need to have like a couple more. Like yeah, Wheatland's good. Like awesome that the sportsmen are going. You know, like the ones that want to go, like good for them. Like
Yeah,
that's awesome that you're going there. But like I think like in addition to Glen Helen, I think we need to have like one more pro only event somewhere else. You know, and like something
yeah,
like Lucas did at the end was they would have like a 1 day deal. Like we race Saturday night, you know?
yeah,
And it just like it's probably easier to get people there for 1 day. You
yeah,
for 3 hours, you know?
yeah,
And like
and that's exactly what we talked about.
yeah, and then like sometimes at those 1 day events, right, the nationals would race Saturday and then they'd have a regional race Sunday, right? So like if
Yeah,
so say we did one race at ERX, right? Have the national Friday night or Saturday night, and then have a sportsman race on Saturday or Sunday.
yeah,
You know, and like that's a track all the sportsmen go to, and you know, just like kind of. I don't want to say separate, you know, because I have a ton of respect for the sportsmen's, and that's where I started, you know, and I don't want to take anything away from that whatsoever. But like I think like we gotta get a crowd there to for the pros, you know, and
yeah,
the sportsmen's too. But like just like we got to make this a supercross or a monster jam or you know these cool things that are successful, you know, and like we just got to start taking notes and trying stuff, you know.
yeah,
You're doing the same thing over and over and over. Yeah, whatever, it works, but like how are you going to get better if you're not changing, you know, like and there's going to be mistakes made along the way and with anything. I bet you every series, if it's NASCAR F1, can admit, yep, we made a mistake, you know. So it's just like someone say Ryan Beat comes up with an idea, let's try it, what are we out, you know, like maybe not this year, but let's try it next year, give it a shot, see how it
yeah,
does.
yeah. No, and I think that's why we love doing this is just getting um thoughts and ideas from so many other people. You know, the thing everyone says is two heads is better than one, right? Or
Yeah,
multiple is better than one because you get different ideas, different strategies, different thoughts. I mean, you know, somebody your age compared to somebody 10 years older, then 10 years older from them may have different experiences, or somebody who is like at that level of, you know, like Ryan or, you know, Johnny Greaves or whoever it may be a little out of touch or out of tune with some of the newer stuff that's coming up. And it's always nice to hear, you know, somebody of your age or your, you know, generation. It's like, how would you do it? And your input is, you know, much appreciated to be able to gauge the different, uh, markets, you know, across the demographics, right? Is it going from 20 all the way to 60? And it's like we all have the same goal. How can we get there? How can we offer it? What are some inputs? What are some thoughts? What are some creative ideas? And I think it's great, man. I think you have a lot of good points as far as it goes. I think talking more and learning about, like you said, the sand show and
yeah,
offer, you know, tickets or discounts or just putting yourself out there. I mean, especially your willingness to go out there and just say, hey, like this is us, this is champ, short course is still here, short course isn't dead. And
yeah,
I think that's great as somebody, you know, of your generation to kind of take that stick and lead that. And I think that's cool and I think that's great.
yeah. I mean like this past weekend I brought the pro light to the rush center for the gamblers game, you know, it's like the
Yep.
motorsports night thing, and there's still people that walk up and like what is this thing, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
like it's like dude, this stuff happens in your backyard,
Yeah.
like like and it's like you just got to sell them, you know, and like so what, this person isn't what name any, or this guy doesn't own Shell gas stations, right? But
Yeah.
just getting people there, every single person that buys a ticket makes a difference, you know, like
100%.
and it's like you can sell it to them and like they go and they tell their friends this is crazy, you know, and like they just it keeps going down the line, you know, and like it's just like little things like that that we all as a series and as individual teams and drivers, we got to be proactive. And I mean, it's not like not how you want to spend your Friday night, but like at the end of the day, you got to have a good attitude and make it worth it. Like make the best out of it and make it fun and go there and do it because it's opportunity. And like when you get opportunity, you can't put them down. Like you got to take them. So, but me and Dolphin had a lot of fun and signed posters and gave away candy and just talking with people. That's what I like doing is just showing people what short course is. And at the end of the day, like I want to be a Johnny CJ Greaves or a Ryan Beat and do this for a living. Like this is what I love. And if I'm not racing short course, I'm going to be racing a late model, and that is not my forte. But uh, I just want to see it grow and get it to what it was in the core days plus some. Like this is what I love to do. This is my passion. So I wanna see it succeed.
Yeah. Well, dude, I almost showed up to the game on Friday, but I had a buddy in town. I asked him, he showed up. I was like, "Hey, I'm like, do you want to go to the game?" I'm like, "I know there's a lot of racers there, a lot of race cars." Um, and he goes, "Well, I know that if we go to the game, I'm gonna want to indulge in some adult sodas, and then we would just be absolutely drunk for the next day." So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, I did not go to the game. I wanted to, but
yeah, but like something like back to the gamblers game thing, like something I did, like I had 10 tickets, right? So
yeah,
various people walk, hey, you guys got tickets? Like, did you get tickets already? Like just like get people in, and like they could say, oh yeah, I came to a race because Johnny Holtger gave me a gambler ticket. Like
yeah,
just like just kind of trying to trying to grow.
yeah. Something,
Yeah, right.
an effort in some capacity.
Yes.
One of the last questions I want to ask you is, how are you able to balance your race life and then also the schooling that you're doing at the same time?
So I been doing it for a while now. I mean, I started really getting big into racing at what 12, 13. So like middle high school, you can't really work ahead too much, but the college stuff, like you start your class and you get all your stuff. You kind of work at your own pace. You still got to meet deadlines, but like my goal is to get like a week ahead. Like
Yeah,
that's like the first week when I get my classes, it sucks. Like I don't have time for anything. But like I'm trying to get a week ahead so then I can like get back in the shop, get back working, and get the call. Hey, let's race our late model. Yeah, sure. I'm good. I'm good to go. And
yeah,
it's just like as I'm getting better managing my time and my resources, I'm like this summer I'm gonna take a class. I haven't done that ever. Like I refuse to take school classes during the summer, and like I'm kind of at the point where like I hate this. I want to get done with it. So like
yeah,
I'm trying to just, and I'm pretty good at balancing it. So if I can balance my time out. It sucks, but it's something you got to do. My dad likes when I race, and my mom likes when I go to school. So um, I gotta keep both sides happy to keep doing this until I can figure out how to do it on my own. But yeah, no, it's a struggle, but hey, if you wanted to, you would, and I want to. So
yeah. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great outlook on it. I don't know how you do it. I how do I say this? I did school as it was needed. Like I was a good student,
yeah,
but I don't think I had that discipline to be able to go ahead. I think I
yeah,
would rather just kind of work from behind, which is such a shitty mentality to have. And I think that you have a great head on your shoulders as far as going about it. Like you said, being a week ahead, trying to be a step ahead so that when one of these race weekends does happen, you can kind of, you know, get caught back up. They catch up to you essentially.
yeah. Well,
So
like in high school, like you go to all your classes, and you like at my school, you had a piece of paper that all your teachers needed to sign and whatever, and you go to the race and come back, and each class, here's what you missed. Like,
Oh man.
and then you gotta like spend how many days to get caught back up after the fact, and then there's already discussion on, hey, we're going back out there. So if I can knock it out right away, great, I'm good to go. I
Yeah.
just got to work a little harder when I get back, and then I'm back where I was. So, um, yeah, no, it's a struggle, but the school I went to, they worked with me so much. They definitely had lucked out there. I think like my last 2 years of high school, I missed 50, 60 days of school. Like,
Gee. Holy
just
man.
like,
Wow.
yeah, I like, it's what all my teachers called me, was the part timer, because I was there part time. But yeah, no, it's all good. So I know all the mod cart kids, there's a way to get through it. So
Yeah, it's tough, man. My dad used to take me on a weekly fishing trip when I was in middle school, and it was easy when you're 11, 12. But then what, I think 8th grade I went, and just the homework became so overwhelming. Like my grades dipped, and after that my dad's like, "Yeah, we can't do this anymore. Like once you get
yeah,
in high school, like it's going to start counting a little bit more, and we can't really do that." So
yeah,
unfortunately, I was not capable of doing what you're doing, but I feel like in your situation, it becomes more routine, whereas mine was like once a year. Where
yeah,
you get into a bit of a schedule routine where like, hey, yeah, this is nice to have fun, but when it's downtime, you're like, well, I gotta study, like I gotta
yeah. You
do
gotta get to
work.
work, man.
Yeah, it's brutal. I don't know how you do it, but it's definitely props to getting your stuff done.
Yeah, no, it's been a long road. So I got one more year after this, and then I'll see if I get roped into doing something else. But right now I'm going for human resources, and then I have a technical degree in project management. So yeah, I don't know. I just trying to do what I can. I got to have a backup plan if the racing doesn't work out. So that's what my dad always told me. The best way to make $1 million in racing is start with three. So you get it?
The best way to
You
like
don't get. Yeah,
like the best way to make $1 million in races is like start out with 3 million.
yeah. That's the best way to make a million.
Yeah. Okay.
You burn the two.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Golly, man, ain't that the truth though?
Right. So, but no.
Well, hey, man, dude, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. What I want to know before we wrap up this podcast is what are some new games that we got to play, because I'm loving Verdansk right now. I'm loving COD. Um, I know you got your butt whooped at Mortal Kombat,
Dude,
like a
you
lot,
don't talk like that.
like a lot. Like I didn't even use Sub Zero and Scorpion, and you were out here getting clapped, my boy.
Only by you. It was only you
Yeah,
that
like
could beat me.
the only way you beat me is when I selected that water guy. I can't remember him, but the dude, there's the guy that just threw water with the little
Yeah,
squirt
dude.
guns. Awful, awful character.
I don't know. We got to start doing that again. I don't know. You guys aren't big PC guys. I don't know what
Jeffrey
good stuff
is
is on the
Jeffrey's pretty
Xbox.
PC. He's the PC guy. Lyle and I have PlayStation, so we've been struggling to try to find something. I know that we played Among Us for a bit, but
Dude,
Jeffrey,
I love Among Us.
I do too, but Jeffrey gets so worked up about it. We're like, it's crazy because he loves lying. Like I think he's
Yeah.
addicted. But it's
And I
like
hate lying,
almost
but I love that game.
it's almost like when it's time for Jeffrey to lie, it's like he can't do it. Like he it finally eats at him when he's got to lie and
Yeah.
um get away with something. So it's a weird conundrum when it comes to that. Like I like playing it, but I like playing it when it's like 8+. Like when there's 8 or more
Yes.
people
For
and you
sure.
have like 2 imposters, that's when it's fun. So if
Yeah.
it's one, I feel like we've gotten so good at the game that we can kind of like strategize on who we think it is, and you can
Yeah,
snap
for
it
sure.
fast.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I know there's like me and Mason talked about it. There's like this game on the PC, and it's like a Bigfoot game. Like and like so like all right, I think it's like 4 or 5 people, and like 4 of you guys are like the hunters, and then the one guy is the Bigfoot, and like you walk around and
Oh, okay.
toss trees down and chase after them, and the whole goal of the game is to catch them or kill them or something. But that game I used to watch on YouTube, and it always looked fun. It's kind of a scary horror game, whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I don't know. Minecraft. You guys got to play some Minecraft.
I don't know. I
Don't
don't know if I
hate.
can do.
It can't be that bad if they made a movie about it. Don't hate.
They make a movie about anything.
They
You
don't make
stop.
a movie about you.
Have you ever seen Shamu, bro? Or what was that one? Free Willy?
Free Willy, huh? Yeah. No, I don't know. I like Minecraft. I have fun with that game. So if you guys ever want to play, I'll teach you the ropes.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely in that generation of Minecraft and Fortnite, and uh,
Yeah.
by the
Or
time I tried to play Fortnite, bro, I was way beyond. Even like bots could kill me in that game, homie.
dude, get a sim. Do some iRacing.
How am I gonna? I can't afford it, brother. Why do
Dude,
you think I'm doing this?
you can make a stand out of 2x4s.
This is not a bad point. It's not a
CJ
bad.
Greaves, the best driver in the world, has it on a desk.
Yeah, but he barely uses it. He don't use it.
So what? He could probably still go on there and whoop me.
What we need is a good racing game that like everyone can get into.
Dude, when Dirt 4, that was always the best
That
game.
was prime,
Dude,
man.
that
I'd play,
game.
I'd play with Keegan and his brother Corey,
Yeah.
and I remember I had to make a rule like no tuning. You couldn't tune the car
Yeah. No,
because
dude,
he would tune the shit out of it, and he'd win every time. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
yeah. No, dude, I was the super buggy champion in that stuff. I loved the super buggies in that game.
Oh,
Loved them.
those are so hard to drive, dude.
Ah, dude, I love those things. Loved them.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
But
But
yeah, I don't know. Whoever makes video games, make another Dirt 4. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where there's multiple, like, or rallycross, dude. The rallycross races, I love those too, man. Where you make like 6 people, 7, 8. I like
Yeah,
Wreckfest, but it's like literally what it turns into is it doesn't even turn into.
Wreckfest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a race. No, dude, I don't know. I see like Supercross. Supercross has a video game.
I heard it's awful though. I heard it's bad.
Yeah, I think MX Bikes has really taken over, but like getting some I don't know who makes video games, but like some company like that to like notice us and be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
this would be an awesome like game pitch." Like and I truly think it could be, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, I
Like
just recently got a PGA, so maybe that's something. I don't know. I don't know if you're a big golf guy or not, but
dude, I got some new clubs. So this past year, Mason, it was like I don't know, it was like 2 days after my birthday, and I come in the shop and I got you golf clubs. He found them on the side of the road in a ditch. I went golfing with them though. They had fun, whatever, and so I picked up a pretty decent set this winter, and so I've just been craving for the sun to come out and do some golfing.
yeah,
I
yeah. As long as it warms up, even just the
Yeah.
slightest.
No, I don't know. I always told myself I'm not chasing a ball around, but like once you do it, like I don't know, it's just chill,
Yeah.
chill and relaxing, and just kind of be something fun to do like after a race weekend, like
Yep.
just
Yep.
debrief and walk around and hit a ball, and so. But yeah, I'm not good, but I think I'll get pretty good by the end of the summer.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go golfing, man. It's on my bucket list to beat all the off-road drivers. I mean, I've spanked Corey Winter multiple times on the golf course. Just
Yeah,
an ungodly amount of times I've beaten Corey Winter. It's just I lost count. Uh
that's
I've beaten Keegan. Like, dude, who hasn't beaten Keegan though, right? I mean, I've beaten
yeah,
him
dude. I
so
beat him my first race.
much.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I've beaten him. The only thing I haven't beaten him at is probably racing, and that's because I can't afford it. But I think everything else, I've beaten him at, football, volleyball, basketball, bowling, Quidditch. I mean, you name it, I've beaten Keegan. So,
Yeah.
but all right, Mr. Holcher, dude, I appreciate it, man. Taking time out of your day, adjusting, rolling with the punches, adjusting your time to make it happen here for Tito time. I really appreciate it. We'll have to get out there on the golf course. We'll try to figure out a new game to play where we can get all of us on there. It was a lot of fun. But otherwise, dude, if I don't see you until Wheatland, I will see you at Wheatland, brother.
For sure, man. Well, if you want to come to the Minecraft movie tonight.
We'll see. My big butt's got to hit the gym here
Here we
soon.
go.
I got to hit the gym, brother. I didn't go
Dude.
yesterday. Jeffrey left. I saw him carrying his bottle, so I think he's going to the gym. He dropped off Leon for gymnastics. He's going to the gym. He's going to pick up Leon. I think he'll probably meet you there, but I still got to go to the gym, and I'm usually there through Jeopardy. So sorry.
Terrible,
Sorry.
man.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Tito Time. I've been Tito Labine. This is our guest, Johnny Holcher, and we will talk to you next time, man. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.